Australian Open starts in about a week. Let's go! Hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Here we are roughly 4 days away from the beginning of the 2021 Australian Open. So we're going to get right into discussing that. Keep your eyes out for a separate video on a playlist that we created. It just has one video on it at this point, and that's the 2021 Fantasy Team and Tennis Racket Giveaway Competition. I'll try to go back and edit this video and flash that video across the top of the screen so they can click on it. So if you're interested in winning a brand new tennis racket of your choice and various other prizes from Y-Tech Strings, then you'll want to check that video out. We'll be doing our draw breakdowns when they come out. I haven't decided if we do the draw breakdown with the fantasy group, the people that like to do the fantasy, or should we just do it with everyone? I don't know. We'll think about that.
I think we should do it with everyone like we usually do.
All right, so check that out. Don't forget to subscribe. That's the only thing it takes to qualify for the upcoming competitions and giveaways. All right, Carla, you and I watched a show last night that was actually in a podcast type format from Victoria Azarenka.
Right, think about it.
Yeah. It was a very well done show, and we didn't have to listen to Azarenka squeal on the show. So could you imagine, Azarenka, could you imagine her doing her talk show, right? Mm-hmm. And, she was interviewing this young lady, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Could you imagine going on Victoria Azarenka's talk show? Yeah. She goes out on the tennis court as a professional athlete, right? Right. So she's being a professional on the court, and yet she finds a way to squeal. So now if she's doing a podcast, which is another professional thing, yeah. She did a very good. She does well. She did a very good job.
She could be a tennis commentator for sure.
Yeah. So why doesn't she transgress her squealing over her talk show? Something like this. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Oh yeah. So you grew up where? And then kind of, since she does it there, I think it would be fitting if she did it here.
It's funny.
I don't know. I think she should work with that.
Yeah,
all right.
Might be funny. Might be comical. She is good. She's very good, though.
Yeah, she's a sweet girl. She did a very good job on the show. Thank goodness we did not have to listen to the squeal. All right. So the reason why we're going to bring up the Azarenka podcast, you said it was called...
Think About It. I'm sure it's called Think About It.
So Azarenka said something, and I'm quoting it because I thought it was very good. And we're going to discuss this. So her quote was something like this. Azarenka said that when one is on the tennis court, so when you're playing a match, when you're on the tennis court, and you're very confident when you're out there, right. One doesn't think very much. They're in the zone, they're not thinking very much, okay? She said, however, if you're not very confident, that's when one starts thinking, and that's when bad things happen. What are your thoughts on that comment?
I agree with her. I give an example. Like, if you're not confident on your serve, oh my gosh, I didn't get my first serve in. Now I have to get my second serve in.
Exactly.
That leads to double faults. And I mean lots of double faults. If you're not hitting your shots right, oh, I don't know if I should keep hitting hard. Maybe I should just push the ball. I mean, she knows the game. She said it well. She's been there, done that. Yeah, great advice.
I thought it was very, very, very well said. Why? Because she's exactly right. You just mentioned double faults. For me, it's not necessarily even the double faults. If I'm not serving well and I can't hold my serve, I start being a little bit more deep thought about what I should do differently. And maybe it's not that I need to do anything differently. Maybe it's just I need to warm up. And then I realize that maybe it's not that I just need to warm up. And then I start thinking, and then the game falls apart. Yeah. At least it's not as tight, right?
Yeah.
So she indicates if you're confident, you don't think very much.
That's very true. Okay? You just hit your shots. There's many times I've played matches. I don't think about it. I know I'm on. There's nothing to think about.
Now, how do we achieve confidence, whether it's on the tennis court or not? But in this context, let's talk about how do we gain confidence on the tennis court, and we can relate it to anything in life, by the way, whether it's business, relationships, family, whatever. It relates or is analogous. So how do we achieve confidence?
Well, one, you got to be successful in anything you do, right? If you're successful, example, if you're winning matches, then your confidence builds up. The more you win, the more confidence you have. You know, the easier you beat your opponents, the more confidence you get. I imagine in business, you tried a new venture, it worked out, made you big money. Now you're confident you'll try something else.
I think even a more simple variable would be practice, right?
Well, you practice.
A lot of practice.
There are millions of people, though, that practice and still are not confident. Because sometimes what you put into practice, you can't put into a match. Sometimes what you put into practice, you can't put into real life scenarios. So maybe that doesn't really work out.
I think also on top of practice, studying, whether you're studying your job or you're studying in school or college or whatever it may be. In tennis, if you're studying your opponent's game, let's say, if we're a student of the game, our confidence rises because we go out on the court and we say, oh, I've seen that look before. I watched that player on film. I watched that player's match. I watched my competitor's business model. However you want to relate it, if I know my competitor, then I have more confidence going into the match. So practice, study, and staying positive. Staying positive is hugely important.
Yeah.
Now, we look at Azarenka's performance. She won the she won the Australian Open twice. Mm-hmm. Was it 2012 and 13, I think? I think 12 and 13. Okay. She went through some ups and downs, maybe some negative energy, and she found a way to be positive again. So here she is. She had a good year at the end of last year, and we're rolling into the Australian Open. So she overcame challenges, right?
Well, not only that, in life too, right?
If we overcome challenges, aren't we more confident?
Yeah.
There's an old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Right.
I think that's a good example of where Azarenka is. If we don't overcome challenges, do we gain confidence or do we lose confidence?
You definitely lose confidence.
We lose confidence.
We've seen a lot of people go through that. A lot of players go through that. Their ups and downs.
Exactly. If we are met with challenges and we as human beings are defeated by them, and maybe we aren't defeated by them, we just think negatively and we think we were defeated by them, generally we become the victim. We become the one that's always defeated. With confidence comes practice and study, humility, and just hold the squealing. Just hold the squealing.
Maybe she does that. Have you thought about that? Maybe the more I think about it, a lot of these people grunt, squeal, whatever, or screech, because, you know, they're nervous and maybe it's just something that is comfortable for them. Just like people who have to sleep with sounds or stuff like that. You know, have you thought about that? I mean,
I sleep with sounds sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Some people that makes them comfortable.
Do any of you sleep with sounds? Like, you know, just night sounds like the ocean or a thunderstorm
or like
rain,
YouTube videos
or whatever. I wonder if they can hear that ice machine back there.
Maybe you should close it.
Do you want me to close it?
Yeah.
Why don't you like my sound?
There are not many people that like to sleep with sounds. I like complete darkness and I like quiet. I can't sleep if I hear noise. It's impossible for me. I toss and turn. Horrible. I wait for you to finally be passed out so I can turn off the YouTube and turn off whatever I have to turn off. Yeah,
if I'm really trying to get to sleep, it's sounds. If it's, if I want to think for a little while, it's like physics or astronomy or UFOs. That's my deal.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on. All right. An example of confidence can be related to parenting as well. For example, we have 5 children, hence our name 5K Tennis. We have 5 children. So here's a question about confidence and overcoming them, and then maintaining confidence to be a better parent and a better leader. Child number 1 gets injured. Oh no, I'm freaking out. Oh no, right?
True.
Oh no. Child number 5 gets injured. Put a Band-Aid on it. And you move forward.
True,
so, simple things. Okay. Enough of that. The main reason why we wrote down this topic in the first place is because one of her guests, and unfortunately I just caught the tail end of it, and I didn't get to see who the guest was, but she was an experienced athlete in whatever craft it was. You said rock climbing. I don't think so. I think it might have been soccer.
No, there was the first one was she was a fitness pentathlon.
Pentathlon, pentathlete or something.
Something, yeah. She was the VP of a company or something.
Yeah.
Went to NYU.
Yeah, she was an NYU student.
Yeah.
Okay, so she had this really nice young lady on her show, and the guest indicated that she was one of many kids that had a lot of promise in her craft. With that said, she indicated that the only reason why, in her mind, that was she was successful when there were so many other people in her craft that were equally as good and some even better is because one day she had a random introduction to someone that, out of the blue, that ended up liking her and started funding her training and so forth. So she was humbled by the quote-unquote, for her, she didn't say luck, but it was one of those things. If it wasn't for that random introduction, she wouldn't have been in her situation, and one of those other many people that she knew at the same point in time could have been, right?
Right.
So I thought it was very humble and very well said. So my question to everyone is how much luck is involved in being the best of the best of the best? Okay? How much luck is involved? Not for everyone, but for the majority of the best in the world at what they do. Is there any luck involved?
You need a little bit of luck. Sure, definitely. You need the right person to... I think Azarenka went through the same thing. She met a family that was willing to sponsor her, pay for everything, her training. I know she had to give a percentage when she made it, but...
Yeah.
We've seen many college players. I watched this video of 2 college players playing tennis. Amazing. It was better than the Lubchenko-Hibby. Is that her name?
That match was awful.
That was the worst match I've seen, by the way. But I saw this...
Wait, the match she's talking about was for one of these Melbourne...
Yarra Valley Classic. It was
one of these Melbourne warm-ups.
No, yeah, that's what it was for. And it was for the Valley Classic, Yarra Valley Classic.
Yeah, and no disrespect to either player. I think it was Hibby playing Lubchenko, but there's no doubt Carla at 41 would have beaten either player.
That was so boring.
Yeah, so there is an involvement in
Definitely,
luck.
like I said, I saw 2 college players playing against each other indoor. The rallies were amazing. There were a whole bunch of tweeners involved. This girl had a one-handed backhand, ripped it for the winner. I mean, they were playing a lot better than these 2 girls. So yeah, there's definitely some sort of luck there, with talent and hard work and money and all the other things you need.
Who are some athletes that you can, rest assured that it was for, and I hate to say the word luck, I like to say the word destiny, but who are some athletes that you can name that it was extremely lucky that they were in the position they were? Would you consider Mike Tyson lucky, a young 17-year-old kid?
I'm sure there's a lot of hungry guys out there like he was.
Yeah.
The right guy saw him. The right trainer saw him. Definitely exposed that raw talent he had. And
exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of very lucky people out there that are just as good as a lot of people playing in their same hood. Yeah. It's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. We see it in basketball. We've seen many guys playing New York City parks, and you're like, wow, they can definitely be in the NBA. But they didn't make it.
Yeah, they just didn't have the meeting to someone to give them a full ride scholarship to a private high school. Yeah. You name it. So it happens. So anyway, in comments, your thoughts on that. How much luck is involved? And do you think Azarenka should do her podcast by asking questions with a squeal at the end? All right. Next thing, pushing forward. Do we waste time, Carla, or do we waste time? And you guys can answer
Yes, we all do.
Do we waste time, or do we waste time? Do we not waste time, or do we waste time discussing that Nick Kyrgios, discussing that Nick Kyrgios has not missed tennis since he played his last match in February of last year and has been working on his quote-unquote competitive edge in computer gaming. And also, as we get into this, or don't get into this, do we waste time on talking about Bernard Tomic playing basketball on a basketball court at full speed prior to his first round match in a Melbourne warm-up and then pulling out immediately thereafter? Do we talk about either one, or does anybody care?
I don't think anybody cares.
Does Kyrgios do well this year?
No.
Do you care?
No. I mean, he's playing video games. You know how many guys at the Air Force Academy are experts at that? They actually have it's actually considered a sport to play video games. And there are many guys, girls out there that are experts at it. So don't tell me someone like Nick is trying to get better at that, because there are guys who are a lot smarter, girls that are a lot smarter, can do better than him any day.
Now, we all know that you can't believe everything you read, right?
Right.
We know you can't believe everything you read. If Nick Kyrgios comes out and is playing very well, then all this is just a mere publicist drawing attention to get bad boy sponsorship money. If he comes out in shape and playing well, you know it's all BS, okay?
He still looks the same from the pictures I've seen.
So I don't buy in too much of what I read because, again, we talked about this on the last show, that Nick Kyrgios is not a hood rat. He is a successful tennis player. Mm-hmm. But that's his thing. That's his, what do they call it? Identity. That's his thing. So there's a lot of young boys, and we made a reference, and girls. I made a reference last week to there are snowboarders at ski resorts that come out to the resort and $100,000 cars acting like they're thug life, but they're so wealthy that their shit doesn't stink. Okay? So what I'm saying, it's just a front. So if he comes out and plays very well, and remember, he's beaten Djokovic twice. So if he comes out and plays very well, then you know it's just a theatrical performance and he's been training. However, if he literally has not been doing anything, as he has kind of indicated here, and hasn't missed it at all, hasn't missed any of the people on tour outside of his Australian cohorts, then he will get dominated by pretty much anyone. Why? Because you have to play the game day in and day out, in order to stay fresh and free from injury. Now, I did read that Kei Nishikori, after his 14 days in quarantine, came out and played his first match and was very, very sore. Now, what happens if, let's use me for an example, when I ruptured my patellar tendon and my leg was in half and I broke my arm? Was not my body sore prior to playing again the next day? Yeah. And I played, right? Yeah. And a catastrophic injury occurred.
Yeah, well, he's the type of guy that has such a, his game, it's just tiring to watch. He runs all over the place. It's defense. So he doesn't have a good game, you know, to rest his body. He's constantly running, playing 12, 14 points average, right? Yeah. Each rally, 12 to 14.
Yeah, I would say that's a good average. And some of Nishikori's rallies go on 30, 35
and we
balls.
know that he loves 5 sets.
Loves 5 sets.
It's not a good scenario for him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be in trouble for the Australian Open. It's really hot there. They've quarantined. Their body's not used to it yet. Yeah. It's around the corner. Yeah. I don't see him doing well.
So if Kyrgios does well, theatrical, he's been training, he's been good. If he doesn't, then okay, whatever. We spent enough time on that. Bernard Tomic, is Bernard Tomic going to do really well at this Australian Open either way? Is all of this limelight just because of his semi-adult film star girlfriend? A lot of it. He started getting popular again with this adult video.
I think there's not much news right now, so they have to, you know, it's like I was telling you about Maria Sharapova. She's not even playing tennis, and you put tennis news and you got 2 articles about her. So it just shows you there hasn't been much going on, but in the next few days there will, because you got the ATP Cup. These girls are playing that Yarra Valley Classic, and they're playing the Gibson Trophy. So that's the other one.
Do you think, well, I'll ask you that at the end. Never mind. Brain fart. Okay. Wow. Do you think that Bernard Tomic or Nick Kyrgios will get extremely difficult draws just because of their bad boy and, you know?
I think Tomic will, and yeah.
I think Kyrgios will get spared because they'll want his marketing.
He's probably going to be seeded in the tournament, isn't he?
I'm not sure if Kyrgios will be seeded or not. But they will want Kyrgios within as many matches, I would think, as possible for marketing. He sells tickets.
You know, somebody on the show got about you about conspiracy and draws being, you know, manipulated. I think it was Tennisser. Okay. He's probably going to say something about it. But I remember him saying, you know, Justin, you always come up with these conspiracies and that the draws are, you know, manipulated.
Look, draws are definitely manipulated to some degree to sell tickets and advertising. Believe me. Are they going to put... I won't get into it. We've talked about it before. Does anyone think that draws are a little bit padded sometimes over the years, especially when it involves the big 3? Does anyone think that the draws have been slightly manipulated for advertising? Think about that. All right. Next subject. This is a quick one. We have seen a lot of the latest tennis gear, and a lot of you may not even care about this, but as tennis coaches and people that are out on the courts every single day, we have to buy tennis gear. But anyway... meaning like shirts, and we have our own business shirts, but, you know, shorts and, you know, shoes and whatever, right?
I don't buy any, actually, I don't buy anything.
Well, we'll get into that.
Shoes, yes.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Yes.
But some of the new gear is rather high. A pair of shorts by certain manufacturers, Nike, Lacoste, blah, 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 are $80. 80. That's ochenta. That's $80 for a pair of shorts. Some T-shirts.
I can buy 4 pairs.
Some T-shirts up to $100 by Hydrogen, the one with the skull. $100 for a T-shirt. Some tennis rackets, $300. Sneakers, to some extreme, are $250. Insanity. Does anyone have any interest in buying any of these type items such as an $80 pair of shorts, a $100 t-shirt, $250 sneakers, or a $300 tennis racket? And is it even worth it?
The country club people will, and those that have, you know, that are wealthy will definitely buy it. We'll see the juniors that their parents can afford to buy it. They'll buy it. Like I said, I could buy 4 pairs of shorts that look better than those shorts.
For like $5 a piece?
No, I buy my $20 is what I spent on my shorts, you know. And then the shirts, made 5 shirts for the price of 1.
Exactly.
That's crazy. The sneakers, you have no choice, but we get them with warranty. I'm already turning in my Rafa shoes. They already wore out from the sole. And I was looking for a good Rafa shoe. I just wasn't happy with the color that they came out. Too light. Yeah, that'll get dirty. But $150 is pretty steep, too, for a pair of tennis court shoes that are going to get ruined. Insider
tips on not paying these ridiculous prices. Number 1, all of these high-priced items will be at your local Marshalls or Ross or TJ Maxx.
Look on eBay?
Almost, like, I would say a month after the next year turns around, if you go there. I've gotten Dunlop shorts. I've gotten Head shorts. I've gotten Yannick shorts for like $6, marked down from $80 at some of those stores. Sneakers, yes. Sneakers is the one thing I'll spend money on, but only get the ones that are on clearance that still have the 6-month sole warranty. So I can buy an $80 pair of shoes that used to be $150, right? And then once I get them, I'm going to wear them out in 6 months because I'm on the court every day. And
or spend $150 and still
get... Well, listen, but here's the kicker. Yeah. If the shoe that you bought was on sale for $90 and it was $150, when your shoe wears out, more than likely that same old shoe that was on clearance is no longer in stock, and they give you a voucher for the full price sneaker to get the same one. So
some companies, they've gotten smart about it. You can only go $30 more. That's it.
For the tennis racket aspect of it, it does not have to be new. Places like eBay are very good at standing behind buyers. If you buy the racket and the person says it's not cracked, you know, chips are okay. Chips is part of the game. People chip their rackets, you know, slicing the ball, scrubbing it off the ground, going for forehands, using it to push themselves backwards, whatever. But you can get quality rackets used on eBay, and for half the cost, if not even less than that. You might have to overgrip it and string it.
Clearance, look at the clearance.
Yeah, clearance rackets. And look, if you're a decent player, recreational player, pro player, whatever your level is, pretty much you're going to play the same way with any racket, unless it's a super heavy, like Pro Staff, that weighs 13 ounces or something. But anyway, there's very easy ways to be very budgetized playing the game.
I'm just shocked that they keep selling the items at that price, knowing that the world is suffering right now. You got people, you know, that can't really do much because of their income status, and that they really expect a normal person. I get it, somebody that's a doctor, a lawyer, or has a business, or successful in life, you know, but, you know, what about those kids that are playing tennis and parents are barely able to pay for a lesson? How are they gonna, it's not cool. I don't, and then you see these kids in these tournaments with these super outfits, and I mean, it's just, I think it's crazy. $80, $100, that's crazy.
We see kids ad nauseum that have been playing supposedly the game for years. Parents paying $120 an hour for lessons, a 15-pack racket bag that's $250 with 5 rackets in there that are $300 a piece, strung with premium Luxalon type strings, all freshly done, and $80 shorts, $100 shirt, and $50 hats.
What about the hats, the socks, the sneakers?
The whole deal.
The whole deal. You've got 1,000.
You're talking about that kid's walking out on the court with $3 grand on him.
And it's not one racket. It's 3.
Yeah, it's like 5 and 6.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. And yet the player is obviously the farthest thing from being successful moving forward, because the player now lacks no hunger. You have to be hungry to fight. And if you have everything handed to you on the silver platter, it's really hard to be hungry as hell to fight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, next subject. Serena Williams takes out Naomi Osaka in an exhibition type match. Do you really care about that?
No, it was exhibition. I mean, I watched the Tia match with Nadal. That was an exhibition match as well. No, they're just warming up. You know,
entertainment.
Feeling each other out.
Entertainment.
I mean, they're not going to get hurt and go all out to win. Good match for her. They both looked in shape. I sent B-Dog Osaka's outfit that she was wearing for that match. You know, Osaka's a pretty girl, in shape. Horrible outfit. Made her look like she had no figure. Serena looked like she was in shape. Good for her. TM looked like TM with his little headband, with his hair hanging down, and Nadal looked like Nadal. So, I mean, it was just exhibition matches. I mean, she did win her first round. She beat, who did she beat?
Gavrilova.
Gavrilova. She plays Pironkova next, another mom. They've played each other quite a bit now.
The exhibition match, they're fun. There was 2 years in a row where I went to Andy Roddick, Andre Agassi, and the Bryan brothers, and then Marty Fish was around then when Marty Fish was popular. And I was younger then, much younger, and I was like maybe 15 years ago, something like that. And I went into the exhibition thinking like, oh yes, I get to see Roddick and Agassi play, And then I realized that with the microphones on their head and they're talking to the crowd, I realized it was entertainment. So that kind of let me down at first. I went back the next year, more from a helping perspective than anything. And then I understood it was an exhibition, so I wasn't let down again. The Serena and Osaka match, great for the crowd, fun tennis.
To see a lot of people.
Surely there was, surely the crowd was happy.
No mask.
But take it with a grain of salt. My question is, does Serena beat Osaka in a big match at the Australian Open?
No idea.
I don't think so.
I mean, it won't be the same.
Here's the big question for Serena. We all know, and it's in my I'll tell you, I'm a Serena fan. I'm a Federer fan, and I'm a Serena fan. I do understand that both players, their time is done. I have Roger Federer's initials on my back, this big. So I don't like it when people say I'm not a true Federer fan because I don't think he's ever going to win a major again. I don't like it when people say I'm not a Serena fan because I do not think she will tie Margaret Court. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
So I firmly believe that Federer is a much better player than Rafael Nadal. And I firmly believe that in Federer's prime, Federer would easily beat Djokovic in his prime.
Yeah.
But that's not reality.
Yeah, their age difference.
An age difference. And people will say, well, his era, we've already been across that on the show 1,000 times. Federer is by far, in my opinion, the more beautiful player to watch. And I think prime versus prime of anybody is the best ever. With that said, I think his ass will not win another major, and I don't think Serena will. So my question is, Serena Williams is 40 years old, right?
She's about to be, yeah.
Anyway, give or take a few days or months.
Yeah, Venus is 40.
Venus is 40, by the way. Venus has set another record of she is the only women's tennis player to have won at least one WTA match within the last 28 years. Holy cow. 28 years she's been playing and has won a match in 20 of those years.
She plays Pliskova, by the way. No, she plays Kvitova.
Be a good match.
Yeah, she plays Kvitova. That'd be a good match.
Can Serena Williams, let's use this exhibition. So she played a strong match, whether it was theatrical or not.
It was 3 sets, 3 tight.
Well, 2 sets and a tiebreaker, I think.
Was it 2? Oh yeah, okay. No, it was 3 sets. 3 sets.
Okay. Anyway, neither here nor there. Exhibition. So if Serena Williams played a lights out match, this 3-setter match, can she do that every other day for 7 matches in a major?
No way.
I'd get it if she did this, by the book and it wasn't scripted for charity.
It doesn't matter how great a shape you are, you feel it. I can tell you, we were in the court all day Saturday. Sunday, I was white.
So question,
no way.
Can Serena play at the top of her game every other day, 7 matches right now?
Not 3
I
sets.
don't think so.
No, she has to finish those matches quickly.
First
week, go through opponents like that.
Yeah.
That way, in the second week, she can actually put all her energy into it.
If she gets into a dogfight 3-setter early, she's in trouble early.
She is in trouble. If I see that second round, she's struggling, no. Another person that Halep, I was shocked that she went 6-4, 6-4 with Potapova, the 17-year-old. That's another player that's had coronavirus.
Yeah. That's
had to miss a lot of tournaments. Played Ashley Barty in that same exhibition and won. But she looked kind of rough against Potapova.
I never really have put Halep in my
She's younger.
Let me finish what I was going to say. I haven't put Halep at all in my thought process for being a contender for, say, the semifinals of this year's Australian Open. I haven't thought about that. I've thought Osaka. I have thought. Don't forget Andreescu is back. Andreescu, I think she will have that rust factor, just like Nick Kyrgios will. So I'm thinking like Kyrgios and Andreescu will probably have the same type of result given the rust factor. But I don't know. Andreescu, she's still number 8 in the world. She hasn't played in a very long time. She did get the top seed in her warm-up tournament. That starts in a couple of days. She had a bye in the first round. I forget who she plays in that first round match, but she's back. But I've been thinking the following people for the title at the Australian Open. Dominic Thiem, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka. Those are the 5 names.
You put Serena in there?
I thought about throwing Sabalenka in there. You all laugh at me for talking about Sabalenka. Don't forget about Kvitova. Don't forget Azarenka.
Kvitova's always been in shape. She's stayed in shape.
Except for her injury or the stabbing. Azarenka's won it twice. Anyway, look, the bottom line is this. I don't think there's a chance in hell, and I don't mean to say that, but I don't think there's a chance that Serena wins this tournament. I just don't. I wish it wasn't the case, but I think it is so. But the exhibition type match, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't really buy into the results.
But I think it was more for the world to see, hey, yes, we have this going on, but look, we can do it safely with a big crowd with no mask. Because we're used to seeing them do the interviews with no mask, you know? So it was good to see finally some normal thing, you know, without having to talk. You could barely hear them.
Yeah.
So I think it was great, and they could hug each other. Before they couldn't even get near each other. So I thought that was good to see.
Excellent. All right, final question here. We're going to shift gears. Out of these 5 players, if you had to put $100 or something that was important to you to bet, which one of these 5 players, if you had to bet one of them, which one is the most sure bet to win the title at the Australian Open? Naomi Osaka, Serena Williams, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, or Dominic Thiem?
I mean, if I'm going to bet $100, I'll go with Osaka, of course, just because she's younger.
So you think Osaka has a better chance to win it than Djokovic does to win his side?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take Djokovic. I will put what I can't afford on Djokovic. Okay?
He plays today. I know, Wayne and Shio, you keep sending me those messages. I'm going to watch it because I have no choice today.
All right.
There'll be stuff going on down here. So we will be up there at 6 o'clock watching the ATP Cup.
There you go. That's going to be fun, by the way. Serbia's chances on repeating, we might discuss that in just a second. But watch out for the Russians. Watch out for the Australians. Watch out for the Canadians. Watch out for the Spaniards. There's some crews out there. All right, we're going to shift gears to end the show with 10 rapid-fire questions to Carla. If you haven't seen this before, I ask her 10 questions. She hasn't seen them, and she'll answer them. And whoever likes to answer them, just put in comments in order. And we like to read those off, too. Do not forget that if you are interested in winning those prizes, to check out that playlist of one video that discusses the rules for this upcoming tournament. All right, 10 rapid-fire questions. Are you ready, Carla?
Yes.
Well, let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Yes.
All right, what is the maximum amount of money you will spend on tennis shoes?
$130.
I wrote $125. Only with the warranty.
That's what it comes out to with tax.
Number 2, are you looking more forward to the men's or women's side of the action this Australian Open?
Women's side.
I'm going to go with women's this year as well.
Men's a lot more predictable.
Question number 3, do you still think Ashley Barty loses in the first week of this Australian Open?
Absolutely.
Question number 4, Venus Williams is 40 years old and has won at least one WTA match in the last 28 seasons. How impressive is that?
Very.
Extremely impressive. Wow. Some people, man.
Very.
Yeah.
Some people wish they could win one.
Jeez,
anything.
28 seasons.
Ask Kornikova.
Wow. All right, question number 5. Roger Federer has lost in the Olympics to Tommy Haas in the year 2000, a young Tomas Berdych in 2004, James Blake in 2008, and Andy Murray in 2012, and did not play in 2016. Can he finally win a singles gold this year at the Olympics if it's held?
Who?
Roger Federer.
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
Question number 6. Can Serbia repeat as the ATP Cup winners?
Yes.
I don't think so this year. I don't think so this year. I think you have to be careful with the Russians.
Wait a minute.
Because Djokovic is one man, and he's not an entire team. And
but their doubles is very good. They got solid doubles players, too.
That's okay. I mean, the doubles, you're going to play a doubles match, and it's also the deciding factor if there's a tie. So that's important.
Yeah, the Russians will be tough because they have...
The Canadians will be tough?
Medvedev. They have...
Rublev.
They have Pachinov.
Yeah, I mean, they're a crew, and I'm not sure if all those guys are in, but I think you have to watch out for the Russians. Be careful. Question number 7. Does Stanislav Wawrinka make noise at this Australian Open or any major moving forward?
I don't think so. I think he's at the end of his career.
Question number 8. Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, I do. Too bad that we can't see them. I don't think we're meant to see them.
Trans-dimensional. You can't quite see them.
I don't believe that people say, oh, I saw that. No, I don't think we're meant to see them.
Yeah, they're around, though. Question number 9. Is this the year Aryna Sabalenka wins a major?
Nope.
Question number 10.
Sorry, Wildlife.
Question number 10. Name the player that you have to mute the television to watch because their screech or squeal or grunt is just too damn loud.
Azarenka for sure.
Azarenka.
There's another one. The American Risk. Horrible.
I wanted to end the show in the same way it should be begun. We talked with Azarenka, or spoke about Azarenka to begin, and we ended once again mentioning her hideous squeal.
I hope she wins the slam, actually.
Just squealless.
I really hope she wins the slam.
Just squealless.
It'd be good for her.
You know, we have masks. We have masks for the coronavirus. Maybe you can make a soundproof squeal mask. Yeah. It could protect you from the virus and mute the squeal.
Yeah.
Patent that. Patent the squeal mask.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. Much love. See you guys soon. We'll be doing daily shows as soon as the Australian Open starts. Again, we're in this room because our house is still being repaired now 4 months later. So
we went today. They're working on it.
They're working on it, yeah. But it's still a good bit away. Hopefully, we're in our house in another month. So our coverage of actual live coverage of the Australian Open in terms of us watching it may be a little bit more limited because we don't have the 6 screens. We just have the 1. But we'll do our best, and hopefully we're back to the studio and our room by the French Open, right?
Right.
All right, take care. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you soon. Peace. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and get ready for our tennis racket giveaways. Let's go!